Welcome to the Fifth Quarter Sportscast. I'm Jared Judy. I'm here as usual with my buddy Todd Corley. I think he's a little bit more alert than usual.
What did you say?
Maybe not. Wow, we'll find out as we go.
Good, you fucker.
We'll find out as we go. Well, we just finished up week 15, and we had quite a few upsets and some interesting games from the week. But we'll start off with the cheers of the week. There was more than a few upsets in week 15. Which was the most impressive? We had the Raiders over the Chargers, Bills over the Cowboys, Seahawks over the Eagles, and the Panthers get their second win over the Falcons. Right now we got Raiders, Chargers, Bills, Cowboys at 25%, Seahawks, Eagles at 50%. I mean, Raiders, Chargers, Panthers, Falcons, really neither one of them. Maybe the Falcons are somewhat, I don't know where they sit. They're not, I still think they're behind, but they don't really have much on the line as far as playoff aspirations. Bills, Cowboys, Seahawks, Eagles, they're obviously still potentially in the mix. But I will say, when you manage to put up 0 points 1 week against, what was it, Minnesota, 3-0, and then you completely come out the next week and blow the doors off 21-0 in the first quarter. I think it was 42 at halftime. And then it was it like 56 or something before the Chargers even scored their first touchdown. And you end up putting up like 63. Was it 63? I think 62.
I think 63. Yeah.
Yeah.
Franchise record.
Yeah. So when you hit a franchise record, going from scoring 0 points the week before to putting up a franchise record, yeah. Even though your team still isn't great and your playoff aspirations are done, cheers to you. But we had the Thursday night game, and as Todd usually likes to say, take the under. This is one time he could have been more wrong. Like we already discussed a little bit here with the poll, Raiders get the win 63-21. Yeah, it wasn't close. Like it wasn't close from the coin toss. It was a complete.
They busted the over by the half.
They busted the over almost the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't want to get mathematical on you, but it was 36.5. 21.
Yeah, but they were at 21 at the end of the first quarter. The way they were moving, they could have broke it.
Now I know why you're having so many problems with math.
It's a full 360.
So can't argue with that.
But yeah, the Chargers look like absolute shit. They look like trash. And every time, I did kind of think it was funny, every time the Raiders would score, which I don't know, mathematically we'd have to check the tape. Seemed like it was every 45 seconds. Every time they would score, the camera would pan over to look at Staley's face, and he looked like a sad puppy that's confused on what just happened. He had no clue. He looked like the most dumbfounded, confused person. Like, oh my God, how'd that happen? Like he had.
Oh my God, how do I still have a job?
Wow, foreshadowing. I don't know. I just don't get it. And it was funny because I think I said something on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that was like, it might have been midway through the first quarter or start of the second quarter. I said something like, well, at least when Staley goes for it on fourth down from here out every time, at least it's warranted. Because you're already down 21-0. Like,
it's ridiculous.
It was horrible.
Shame on them.
I will say, what do you think? What's the best play you saw of the game? The best one was when he tried to whip that. It looked like a screen pass, and the guy just jumped up one-handed, took it back for 6. Right after they just scored. They just scored, kickoff, bring it out to the 25. One-handed next play, right back in the end zone.
It's like, I swear to God, it was right after that I think I tweeted about, had a Connor Stallions feel to it. Like, they knew Homeboy knew exactly what was coming. He knew
Untouched.
where it was
He
going.
came right up the middle, untouched, and it was just like he just jumped, and timing was perfect.
That was, my dear God, I was impressed.
I mean, I don't even remember when that was. I think that was towards the end of the game.
It was, yeah.
But I'm like,
late.
as if that's not icing on the cake. Good Lord.
Yeah, that was something else, boy. Woo, man.
Yeah, that not
Jack Jones.
I think it's safe to say not a whole lot went right for the Chargers that game.
Early in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I was going to say I was kind of hoping they would have got shut out. But
I'm sort of pissed they let him score 3 times.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did score. They were able to get the 3. But I'm still dumbfounded how. Because when you haven't been able to move the ball for, 52 minutes? I don't know how all of a sudden you found something that worked. Because they interviewed Pierce at halftime, and basically he said, yeah, we're just going to keep the pedal down. Like, we're not stopping. Like, I don't know.
Well, they sure as hell didn't stop, and I'll tell you right now, old Easton Stick and his 4 touchdown passes. Granted, only 3 of them were to his own team, but it was nice. It was a hell of a showing.
I like how you worded that.
It was effective, So cheers to you, buddy.
Yeah,
I pop a top, but all mine are empty.
There you go. But to follow up with that, after that just debacle disaster on Thursday night, it wasn't too long, and the Charger fans finally got what they wanted. Spanos canned Staley and the GM Telesco and starting over. So it's long overdue, but yeah, they're out. So we'll see where they go from here.
New England.
Yeah, well, it's looking it's looking that way. But to move to a little bit more of a competitive game, and not much, but a little bit more. Bengals, Vikings. Bengals.
Oh yeah, we're going to the Buckeye State.
Bengals take down the Vikings in overtime, 27-24. As if the Chargers didn't have any, issues at quarterback or, anything like that. You got the Vikings, who's I think are they on their 4th quarterback now this week at week 16?
Mullins.
Third, at least third.
At least third, yeah. Because it went.
Who
was that?
I know
Who was
they
between Dobbs and Cousins. They didn't go straight from Cousins to Dobbs, did they?
No, because Dobbs wasn't even there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because after Cousins went down,
who the heck was it?
Yeah, I don't know.
There was somebody. I don't know. But anyway, either way, they're on their 3rd or 4th quarterback. That team started out pretty decent, and then, man, they're struggling. They're struggling to stay afloat. Their run game is abysmal. Their passing game is abysmal. It looks like Dobbs should have went to the Chargers, quite frankly, with the way he's flinging touchdowns around. Yeah, I don't know. It's they need an overhaul for sure. I don't know that Cousins. I don't know how long. Is this his last year on the contract? I think this is it, isn't it?
I don't know. Sorry, I remember Jefferson was talking before that he wanted to go wherever Kirk Cousins was going. Which I don't know if that was his ploy to try to get him to re-sign Kirk to a longer deal.
I would be shocked if he stays. I mean, that's just my opinion. But then again, unless they draft somebody they really feel comfortable in, I don't know who they're going to have to fill the spot, because right now they got nothing at quarterback. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins and Jefferson and Hawkinson. Like, that's their whole team right now on the offensive side.
Jefferson threw a pass this last week.
Yeah, this was his first week back, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. But yeah, I mean, Browning's he's a decent
serviceable.
He's a decent game manager. He's not going to get you the 400 yards passing and the 3 or 4 touchdowns every week, but he's enough to keep you afloat. But Hey, I
until the
mean,
number one receiver went down.
let's be honest. After Joe Burrow went down, it kind of seemed like that's where the Bengals season went to. They're not looking great.
I mean, I'm fine with it. They're in same division as the Browns, one game behind. That's fine. No Burrow, no Chase, no problem.
Moving to the next game here, we got the Colts and the Steelers. Colts take down the Steelers 30-13. It was, I mean, it obviously wasn't. It wasn't the Steelers' best outing, to say the least. Kenny Pickett, I believe, was out again this week. George Pickens doesn't seem like he wants to play. Najee Harris is invisible. I mean, the shining star, I feel like, on that team is T.J. Watt, and that's about it.
Yeah, they're awful. I don't like them. Actually, I don't mind the Steelers. It's the Steeler fans, and I feel like the Steelers have turned into their fans, where they just think that they could get away with whatever and win.
Well, and what was it? Was it Minka Fitzpatrick? I think a couple weeks.
Yeah.
He basically pointed out that, hey, just because you show up in the black and gold and you're wearing the colors, you think that you're automatically entitled to a win. Like, that isn't how it works. Like, you still got to come out here and work your ass off for everything you want. Like, nothing's given to you just because you're wearing a highly respected colors. Like, that doesn't mean shit. And I kind of feel like it's not just isolated to them. I feel like it's a lot of the rookies that come in that are the highly touted, first round picks and, whatever. Especially, I almost feel like it's more so receivers and like DBs than like quarterbacks or running backs or anything like that. I don't know why. That's just my opinion, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like there's an awful lot of attitude and swagger that's not necessarily warranted coming from a team that's now 7-7. Like,
and that's after getting rid of Chase Claypool.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Talk about the ultimate entitled piece of shit.
Yeah. How's it working out for him?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to believe that the NFL could keep on going, missing one of the top 3 receivers in the league.
I mean, it's news to me.
Self-proclaimed.
But what did you think of I didn't see the game. I saw the highlights. If you slow any highlight down, it's going to look worse than what it is. But what'd you think about the, what is it, KZ or KZ, the hit on Pittman? Do you think it was a dirty hit?
No.
I mean,
football.
If you slow it down, it definitely looks like he came in headhunting. But when you play it at full speed, I mean, it looked like Pittman was catching the ball and like falling forward because of the momentum of the catch. And it looked like he was already, the Steelers defender was already coming in to make a play. This is like every single...
We got to draw a line somewhere, buddy.
Well, this is like every single one of these plays where you flag the defensive guy, but he's already in mid-tackle.
What are you going to do?
I mean, how do you adjust when you're already in mid-tackle? I mean, that's like if you're diving, how do you stop in the air and contort your body so you don't hit somebody? Like, I don't know. I will say, in slow motion, it looked dirty. But then when you see it in real speed, it's like, oh, it's a bang-bang play. Like, that was, I don't know. But he did get suspended for the rest of the season. I believe I've read from Schefter and some other insiders on X, Twitter, whatever, that he's suspended for the rest of the regular season. So if they do make the playoffs, he's eligible to come back. What's the point of the suspension for another 3 weeks? Makes no sense to me. But it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, you're suspended for the first 2 quarters of the next game. Like, what's the point? But I think they're trying to make an example of him, just like they are. What's the guy from Denver? Oh, I can't think of his name now.
Carmelo Anthony.
No,
he doesn't play anymore.
No, the guy from Denver that apparently has the Broncos. Sorry, I guess I had to specify which sport.
Tim
Uh,
Tebow.
yes. No, the guy that does a lot of head hunting, supposedly. And I remember he had a hit on the Packers, I think, 1 week, and the next week I think it was on the Saints, but whatever. I think they're trying to make an example just like they did him. Whether it's warranted, I don't know. They're leaving a lot of this up to interpretation, in my opinion. When you slow everything down, everything looks worse. I mean, you got to look at everything in real speed because that's how the game's played.
I don't know, man. Think back to the 90s, right? Like, you remember Baywatch? Like, they purposely slowed that shit down in the intros. And it, honestly, I think it enhanced the artistic beauty of the whole show. So, like, sometimes slowing things down actually does make it better. When I eat, if I slow down, I don't actually choke and regurgitate.
I will tell you, yeah. And they did a great job when they slowed that down, man. Hasselhoff. Whew. Is that what you meant?
Yeah. What the hell do you think I was talking about? I was talking about his wankus.
I mean, it's the only thing I could think of.
Flopping around in there, just fucking saying, hi boys. What the fuck are you talking?
Oh man, and this isn't even on that many beers.
That's the problem. There's like a 3 to 4 beer zone where I either get really mean or really handsy. You're lucky we're on different counties of the fucking state here, bud.
I'll consider myself lucky on that one then.
That's right.
But speaking of the Broncos, Lions just dismantled them. They went back to what we thought they were, what everyone was expecting them to be. They take down the Broncos 42-17. I don't think it's all, peaches and cream in Denver. From what I hear, it doesn't sound like Sean Payton's too thrilled, too happy, which, I mean, at 7-7, they're a hell of a lot better than they were last year, but that's a pretty bad team for Sean Payton standards. But like I said, the Lions, they showed out. They had their typical showing. Gibbs 11 for 100, Montgomery 17 for 85, St. Brown his usual 7 for 112 and a touchdown. Laporta, he was on fire. Only 5 for 56, but he had 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, that adds up pretty quick. Speaking of another dumpster here, we had the Baker Buccaneers taking down the Packers in a disaster, 34-20 at Lambeau Field. This could be a whole nother podcast in itself, so we won't get too deep into it. But how the heck, first off, Matt LaFleur hires Joe Barry, who had never had a team, as far as a defense, above 25. Mm-hmm. You hired him thinking it was going to be better. The guy's never had a winning defense, and you thought that it was going to be better, and they're trash. Again, they're still trash. In the last 2 weeks, you've had a third stringer in DeVito look like a future Hall of Famer. You let Baker have the only other quarterback in NFL history, opposing quarterback in NFL history at Lambeau Field, to have a perfect quarterback rating in your stadium. You had a 4'5" guy just beat the hell out of you. And that's even after you sacked him and made him fumble a few times. And he still beat you. The soft zone doesn't work. It just doesn't work. He doesn't believe in blitzing. It's just straight trash. It's ridiculous. And I mean, honestly, I'm not a Steelers fan. Never really had an issue with the Steelers. I'm just not a Steelers fan. Don't watch them. Don't really care about them. But I feel like somehow Joe Barry's channeled his inner Matt Canada, because that's what I feel like watching the defense. It's ridiculous. Every time it's, 3rd and 15, normally you would think, oh my God, we're going to get them. We're going to get a stop. We're going to get the offense back on the field. At one point, it was 2nd and fucking 29. and they let him throw like a 25-yard pass to get right back to 3rd and 4. Like, what the hell? Like, why don't you give him a 30-yard cushion? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand how he's still here. The way that last season ended, when they got their asses handed to them by the Lions, when the Lions had nothing to play for, and if they would have won, they would have went to the playoffs. The way that the season ended last year, how the hell he brought him back makes no sense. But then he came out at the beginning of this season and said that he was going to keep him, retain him, but they were going to run a different defense. Well, if you're going to run a different scheme and that's not the guy's scheme, then why in the hell do you keep him? Find a guy that runs the scheme you want. Like, I don't know. At this point, I can't even put it on Joe Barry because Joe Barry sucks. He's always sucked. You knew what you were getting when you got him. At this point, I almost feel like it's a Matt LaFleur. It's a head coach issue. What's the saying? That you continue to do the same stuff and expecting different results. The definition of insanity. Like, I'm tired of the coach speak. I'm tired of the run of the mill around the merry-go-round. Miscommunication. We got to execute better. No, your guy that you hired sucks. He fucking sucks. As simple as that. Like, it doesn't matter. And now it's to the point where I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but you got Jair on the defense who he's been out like 6 games now. He's practicing, but he just refuses to play. Whether he's injured or he just hates Barry and basically says, hey, I'm not putting my butt on the line for a scheme that it doesn't work. Who knows? That's another situation. And then you got Devondre Campbell coming out and basically putting on Twitter this message along the lines of, hey, I'm going to take care of myself and look out for myself. And I'm only going to give them as much effort as they give me, whether that's, I've heard, directed towards fans, coaching staff, whatever. It's a whole toxic issue, and it's just spiraling out of control. And you still leave the guy in charge. Like, it blows me away. And what concerns me as a Packers fan is they're going to keep him. If they win the next 3 games, they'll probably keep him next year too. Because they ended on a high note. I don't know. But the biggest thing is, how in God's name did you let Baker Mayfield, of all the quarterbacks, the guy's played you 3 times in 3 seasons. He's played at Green Bay with the Rams. He's played at Green Bay with the Browns. And he's played at Green Bay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know how he is. How the hell did you get burnt? That's the thing that irritates me. It's the same defensive coordinator. It's the same head coaching staff. And for the most part, it's the same defensive personnel players. And nothing's changed. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's just frustrating. But yeah, it is what it is. Nothing's going to change. But to move on to another team where there might be some change, Kansas City, 27, Patriots 17. Do you think there's a chance, there's plenty of talk going around, that this might be Belichick's last year?
Yeah,
with the Patriots.
Oh, for 100%. It's been spoken. It shall be so. Where
do you think he goes? You think he goes to the Chargers?
Yeah, man, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he's going to start all the way back at the bottom and go for like a Carolina or something, like a project. I think he's going to go where there's some established talent, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to give him the most control.
That's the thing. I was going to say, I don't think he's going to go anywhere where he doesn't have full control. Like, I want to be in charge of who I draft. I want to be in charge of who I groom. I want to be in charge of free agency and trades. Like, Chargers seem like a pretty good option considering you basically fired your GM and your coach. And let's be honest, he's been the GM and the coach at New England for the last, 20 years plus. So it seems to be lining up, but I don't know, man.
It worked for Bill Parcells, so
it's true. It's true.
He learned it somewhere.
He's had a lot of success doing it, but Man, I don't know. It's not looking good for New England. I'll put it that way. I mean, I'm okay with it. They had a good run. But another team that didn't quite have as good of a run, the Jets. They went from last week looking pretty darn good and Zach Wilson having all the swagger to getting his ass handed to him by the Dolphins 30-0. What a difference a week makes. But also, Mostert did score his 19th touchdown to break the Dolphins' single season record. So there's that. But with this, I know there's been a lot of talk about Zach Wilson, what's going on with him? Is he going to be there? Is he going to be cut? Is he the backup starter? We keep playing the carousel game. Rodgers is, he's coming back. He's coming back. But why the hell would he come back if they don't have anything to play for? So I know there was supposedly a lot of stock put on this Dolphins game where if they technically won this game, they could still have a shot at playoffs. And then he would potentially come back, or at least would have a reason to come back. They lose. He's got no reason to come back now. He even said that basically he doesn't really have intentions on coming back. But then I see just a couple hours ago,
they activated him.
The Jets took him off IR and activated him, and they had to cut a fullback. Now, granted, it's a fullback. Nobody uses fullbacks anymore anyway. But why? Is he actually planning on playing when you have nothing to play for? Like, what's the point? Other than making a statement of, hey, look, I did it better than anybody else.
Nothing makes sense. The down is up and up is down.
I mean, is he just planning on trying to get one full game in this season so he could say that he played because he only got 4 plays? Like, otherwise it makes no sense. None.
Dude, yeah, I got nothing, man.
Especially...
That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Especially at his age and with that offensive line. Like, all right, buddy, more power to you. Good luck. But you got nothing to play for, so what's the point? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what their deal is, but I will say the Packers trade that they made is looking better and better every game. So keep up the good work. Yeah. But we'll move to your wheelhouse here. I was kind of watching another game, but I was stat watching because I was really hoping the Browns would have pulled it out just for the Packers' sake. The Browns do take down the Bears 20-17. Barely. Barely. How the hell does that not get caught is my question.
There is a God. I don't know, man.
Who was it?
I'm watching it, and I was... Jesus Christ.
Was that Moore? Was that...
Mooney.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing it. I couldn't remember if it was Mooney or Moore.
Mooney,
you just see it totally Hail Mary at the end. You catch it, you walk off, game winner. It bounces off of him, kind of gets bobbled around. Somehow, Browns player ends up in his hands. He runs a few yards out of the end zone and falls down. Game over.
Yeah.
That just blows me away in itself because, let's be honest, it's the Browns. That type of shit usually goes the other way for Cleveland. They're on the receiving end of that, not the dealing end of that.
Yeah, it's nice to see it from the other perspective for a change. It's kind of nice. It kind of reminded me of the damn 49ers game.
Yeah.
Where, like, the guy who had Moody lines up for a field goal he hasn't missed all season, and holy shit, he misses it, Browns win. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I'm like, Browns there. Oh, my God, the ball's there. Oh, my God, the ball's caught in the... Wait, no. Oh, my God, he didn't catch it. Browns win?
Browns win! The first thing that came to mind with me, you're going to like where I go with this one. The first thing that came to mind with me was it week 2 or 3 last year, and you were about ready to burn the house down for how pissed off you were. It was week 2 or 3 last year, and it was the Browns and the Jets, and Flacco led the Jets to win.
I was at the game.
Yeah. And then now you flip the script here, and Now Flacco's on the other end and does the same thing to get the win. Like,
Yeah,
what a difference a year makes.
he's honestly he's looked the best of any of the quarterbacks they've had.
I was going to
This
say,
season.
arguably, he's worth more than $230 million compared to the other guy at this point.
Oh, he's definitely worth more of it than the other guy. But yeah, holy shit,
Yeah,
he looks good, man. I'm excited. Brown's got
how long
got
has he
another.
been in the league?
Not
I
that
thought I
long.
heard somebody say like 20 years.
No, I don't think that's right. That
I
doesn't
don't know.
sound right.
I don't remember when he got drafted. I know he's been in the league forever.
That
But I
must
heard that and
be.
I'm like, what?
That doesn't. 20 years doesn't sound.
No, I don't remember when he got drafted, but I'm like, holy shit, if that's the
Drafted.
case.
He was drafted in '08.
Okay. Well, I mean, a couple more years, he sticks around.
Yeah,
He's not too far off.
wow, he was a first round pick. Holy shit, who would have known that?
Yeah.
First rounder?
He's probably the best first round non-drafted quarterback the Browns have ever had.
Jesus. I'm not even mad. I'm
Because
impressed.
let's be honest, all of the last previous first round quarterbacks the Browns have taken have not panned out well over the last 20 years.
Tell you what, man, that dude, for him being, I'm still younger than me, I can sling it, but he, for him being, 38 years old, he's got a hell of an arm, man. That guy can toss a pigskin.
Well, and I was going to say, it doesn't even
Shit.
look like he's putting much effort into it. It's kind of like Rodgers, and he just flicks a wrist and the thing goes 30, 40 yards. But the thing that impresses me is usually when they start to the guys that have really tight balls early in the career, they tend to get a little bit more wobbly as they get older. He still has a hell of a tight spiral.
Yeah, you'll experience that as you age too. The balls get a little bit looser. They do get a little looser.
I was trying to keep going to not let you get a word in because I knew that's where you were going.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's, I find myself doing a little more fiddling at night, like I'm like Larry Bird in his prime. I do there's a lot happening, but we get through, we perform, we produce, we reproduce. It's what we do.
Fair enough. All right. Well, no way to transition from that. So,
And a good day to you, sir.
yeah. So did you watch any of the Texans Titans game?
Yep.
I did watch the last 3 minutes or so, and then overtime. That was a hell of a back and forth game. A lot closer than I think most people were expecting it. I know it's been kind of talked about, but Derrick Henry.
Not his finest showing.
No, not by any means. 16 carries for 9 yards for a 0.6 average.
I mean, he made Trent Richardson look good.
He made everybody look good. He made the Packers defense look good.
Derrick Henry's pretty much a prime example of what happens when you just run the wheels off of your 1992 Dodge Shadow.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that thing's got like 600,000 miles on it. That thing's gonna go.
Yeah, it's not as fine as showing. But the Titans decided to try to rub it in Houston's face by wearing the old throwback Oiler jerseys.
It's a pro move.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out for them, but they did make it a game. I'll give them that. But yeah, they ended up getting beat 19-16 in overtime. C.J. Stroud did miss the game, concussion from the week prior. And from what I hear, he's still in concussion protocol, so it's not looking likely he's going to play this week either.
It's so weird because I get like notifications from like 3 apps telling me that Stroud's out this week, and then Yahoo hasn't officially ruled it, so I don't know who. I don't even know.
Well, and we both know. I don't know. Trusting Yahoo is like trusting Joe Barry to run your defense.
Well, Yahoo doesn't update it,
That's my
but
thing. Yeah,
everything else.
everybody else says that Aaron Jones was out, last week or 2 weeks ago? That he was out, he was out, he was out, he was out. Like, yeah, he's done, he's not playing. And yet somehow I see he was projected like 9.5, 10 points, whatever. And then even like 2 hours before the game, he was still listed questionable, even though his projections were 0. Like, dude, the guy's not playing. Mark him is out. Like, what are you waiting on? It seems like Yahoo's very late to the game or very hesitant. I don't know. It's very frustrating. But yeah, it wasn't the Titans' best game. We'll leave it at that. But moving on here, some more not their finest showing. Saints take down the Giants 24-6. Welcome to the league, Tommy Cutlets. He didn't quite have the best game either. 20 of 34, 177. No touchdowns, and he got smacked around pretty good. He got sacked 7 times. He was trying to still live on that high against Green Bay, but it didn't work out too well for him. Yeah, not the best showing. Speaking of not another good showing, Panthers get their second win of the season, 9-7 over the Falcons. The Falcons are a dumpster. Like, I don't know what's going on with there. It's a freaking quarterback carousel every week. Ritter in, Heineke in, Ritter out, Heineke out, Ritter in, Ritter out, Heineke in, Heineke out. Like, there's no consistency. And what's the old saying? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Like, they don't know what the hell's going on. They can't get a quarterback into play. They can't get the ball to Bijan. Like,
Arthur Smith out.
Yeah, Arthur Smith in. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and yet they're 6-8, and they're still not that far out of the division lead, which is sad. But I don't know.
Yeah, they're done.
I think it's safe to say. Did you see? I don't know if it's true. I've heard it was true. About the tickets. About the bargain tickets that Carolina had for the last week?
Yeah, cheap. Really cheap.
Cheap. They're almost paying you to come to the game. 45 cents. I've never seen that. That's impressive. Now, granted, I doubt it when you get in the gate. It's, hey, 45 cents to get in the gate, but here's your $15 beer. Drink up. But, hey, for 45 cents, you got to see the second win of the year. So, hey, if you're a diehard Panthers fan, you got your money's worth and then some. Judging by the score, it sounds like it was a very enjoyable game, 3 field goals. But, hey, whatever, you got the win. 49ers, Cardinals, kind of, expected this. 49ers take down the Cardinals 45-29. Cardinals just aren't good. I mean, it's just that simple. San Francisco, nobody's stopping them. Except for the Browns. They're not good right now. The Cardinals are just trash. I mean, it is what it is. Got the Commanders and the Rams. Rams taking down the Commanders 28-20. Rams are starting to look pretty interesting. Like, they're making a push. I mean, granted, they're still in the 49ers division, so that's not going to matter much as far as the division winner, but they're making a push for that playoff spot, which never would have saw that coming. But next interesting game here, we got the Bills blowing the doors off the Cowboys 31-10. What the hell is going on with Dallas? I mean, are we shaping up into prime Dallas season where they're good all the way up until December, January, and then they completely implode? Because it sure feels like it.
I don't know. Are you going to be a Cowboys fan because the Packers aren't going to make it?
Hell no.
Yeah, you fucking are.
I've never been a Cowboys fan. I don't care if Green Bay's in it or not. I refuse to root for Dallas.
I guess that Romo dress in your closet was a gift.
Yeah, from you, maybe.
You're welcome.
The only plus I like about Dallas is Al Harris. And man, I wish at these times like this he might come back to Green Bay. But yeah, it's not going to happen. But man, I don't know what to think of Dallas. They're starting to look pretty questionable.
Well, yeah. As long as they don't have to play San Francisco ever again, they'll be all right.
Yeah. Well, if they keep playing the way they're playing, they're going to get matched up against them in the postseason, and then it'll be typical 1-and-out. But yeah,
maybe it's the opposite. Maybe Dallas isn't that bad, and Buffalo's just peaking.
I don't know. Maybe I doubt it. I wouldn't put all my eggs in the Josh Allen basket. He seems a little too unpredictable. He's very reckless. But I don't know. Since we're on the topic here of Buffalo, look what happened. Buffalo fired Ken Dorsey, and they're starting to win. The Commanders, they fired their coordinator, and I mean, they still suck. Philadelphia filed their coordinator, and wow, they still suck. Green Bay still pushing along with theirs. Oh boy! All right. Well, next game here we got Ravens and Jags. Ravens do get the win, 23-7, but at a cost. Keaton Mitchell did go down with was it an ACL? I think.
I hope so.
I wouldn't say that for you. I could see why. But yeah, I thought I saw that it was a ACL.
It had to be either Achilles or ACL. It's only two goddamn things.
Well, I mean, it seems like the cool thing to do this year is an Achilles, so. But I did think I saw that it was the ACL. But yeah, he's done for the year, so that seems to be that it's the Gus Bus show moving forward.
People calling fucking Lamar Jackson buckwheat in the fucking chat. Oh my god. Get me out of here.
That same I guess, sphere as far as the game. Trevor Lawrence gets knocked out. He's in the concussion protocol. Man, he's just had a couple bad weeks. He got rolled up on, what was that, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Busted up ankle, and now he's in the concussion. Yeah, now he's in a concussion.
Yeah, I bet his ass plays this week.
Oh, I mean,
he'll clear protocol.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He hadn't missed a game. That's like his main thing.
Yeah, he's got that Iron Man streak in him.
He hadn't missed a game since, I don't know.
Urban Meyer.
Okay. He didn't miss any of them either. That guy took it. He sat there getting kicked with fucking Scobie or whoever the fuck their kicker was.
Scooby. Yeah. But
you can't kick a kicker. Like, if you can't beat the shit out of a kicker, I mean, what are you doing? Like, that should be like a perk of the head coach. I think you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want to the kicker. Especially if a kicker misses. If a kicker misses any kicks, I don't give a shit if it's extra point, 53-yarder, whatever. You should be able to beat the hell out of that man. Like, I'm talking like bar of Irish Spring and a tube sock kind of shit. Like, we're talking military fucking discipline.
Well, if that's the case, then who the hell was it? York? Man, you guys would have field day with York.
That's why they had to get rid of his ass. He lost feeling in his fucking feet. They fucked up his lumbar so bad from beating his ass with tube socks filled with like dimes and quarters. And I'm talking about pre-1976 quarters, like the real shit with the metal. None of that pussy shit. America.
Is that the same thing Chicago would have done to Cody Parkey for the double doink?
I mean, in the good old days, they just fucking shot his ass. But we're talking about real shit.
Is that why he's not in Chicago anymore? No questions asked.
He knew when the fuck to get out. You got to release my ass. I can't. They're gonna kill me, coach.
Release me or not, I ain't coming in. I ain't coming in.
Right. I ain't gonna be fucking swimming in that goddamn river. Jesus Christ.
Well, speaking of one solid fan base to another, the Seahawks pull off quite the upset, taking down the Eagles 20-17. Are the Eagles just overhyped, or are they just having a bad stretch? Because I think they've lost, 3 in a row now?
It would appear as though, my colleague, that they are overhyped.
I mean, it seems like their claim to fame. I mean, it seems like they had a soft schedule looking at the way they're playing now.
Well, they definitely
and
did.
Their record. I mean, they're 10-4, but the 10 wins, who'd you beat? You beat up on Washington?
Paper champs. They're like fucking Tommy Gunn, Rocky 5. You're a paper champ.
I was impressed with Drew Lock. Didn't expect it out of him, but he did play pretty good.
Goddamn right he did. You see his ass flinch when fucking after post game, Metcalf came up on him.
Yeah. What the hell's
like fucking Zach Wilson standing next to the brothers?
Flex next to Zach Wilson when he was seeing ghosts. What happened? What's with the deal now? Where, I mean, you've seen it for years. Why all of a sudden are they making such an emphasis on calling the centers offsides because they get set and move their feet? Like, that shit's been going on for years. Why are they making such a big emphasis on this?
Well, let me tell you about this little city out in Nevada, Jared.
Reno?
Yeah. Vegas, baby!
It just seems like it's more of the same shit. The rules have been in place. We just never enforced them, but now we're going to load up on them. Like, what the hell? Like, honestly, when they called it offsides on Kelsey, I'm like, what? How does that work? How'd that even happen? And, like, they showed the replay, and I'm like, I still didn't see it. I'm expecting him to, like, move the ball or something, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one.
It matters when they want it to matter.
Well, of course, and they throw the flags when they want.
That's right.
But, well, we're now starting to kind of get the breakdown of some of the teams that's clinched. Some teams have clinched playoffs. Some have been eliminated. AFC Ravens 11-3 have clinched a playoff spot. In the NFC, the Niners clinched the NFC West. Eagles, Cowboys both clinched their playoff spots. As far as the teams that have been eliminated officially, Titans, Jets, and Patriots all have been eliminated from the AFC, NFC, Commanders, Cardinals, and Panthers. So basically that means the Panthers will just play the spoiler role this coming week against the Packers. And Bryce Young will look like the next Steve Young. But anyway, so there are some teams who've already locked up their spots in playoffs. Now they're just basically playing for seedings. But as far as this upcoming week, looking ahead at some of the games, we're currently recording this Wednesday night. Thursday, we got the Saints and the Rams. That Thursday night game actually could be somewhat decent. The Rams got an okay offense. Saints got a decent defense. Could be interesting. Bengals Steelers should be interesting. I'm expecting quite a few meetings of TJ Watt and Browning. Bills Chargers. Oof, that could be a blowout, or that could be a snooze fest. Depends on what Bills team shows up. But looking at some of the other interesting games here, Browns Texans could be a pretty interesting one. Sunday at 1 o'clock, Christmas Eve. Dolphins Cowboys could be fairly interesting. And of course, we got 3 games Monday night on Christmas. We got the Raiders and the Chiefs. We got Tommy Cutlets and the Eagles. And then Monday night, we got the Ravens and the Niners. I think that could be a pretty interesting game.
Niners would be good, yeah.
I'll be interested to see how Lamar fares against that defense, because that defense is pretty fast, pretty tough.
Well, I'm hoping he fares pretty fucking well.
Because, yeah, for obvious reasons. Well, I think that'll wrap up this episode of the Fifth Quarter Sportscast. Download, rate, subscribe, review, all that fun stuff. Interact with us on the socials. Go hit us up. It's 5th Q Sportscast, 5THQ Sportscast. Yeah, so we got some games. We got one on Thursday, a couple on Saturday, some on Sunday, a couple on Monday. Go watch some football. Go make some bets. Go make some money. Go have some fun food, family, Christmas, all that good stuff. And yeah, I don't know wherever you guys are listening from, but I think we're gonna get a bunch of rain as usual. So it ain't gonna be a white Christmas. It'll be a wet Christmas as usual. It seems like around here. But yeah, hope you guys all have a good Christmas. And we'll catch you back here next week and break down some of the Week 16 action.
Rest in peace, boiling water. You will be missed.